Hello everyone, today's video tutorial is about formatting text. That means we shall be dealing with changing the appearance of our text. To follow this video tutorial, we have to be with some text on our screen, or else type whatever you like. And if you're going to type some text, please pause the video and you do that. To start this video tutorial, we are going to copy this text that we have on our screen so that we can see the changes as we go on with this tutorial. Now let's click at the beginning of this text. Then after we click, hold down the mouse and then move until all our text is selected. Thereafter, we are going to right click, then select copy. After copying, we can click at the end of that paragraph, then we press the enter key so that we can paste the copied text to the next line. So we do that by right clicking the mouse button, then we select paste. So now after copying, we shall be aware that our tutorial will focus majorly on the font group. This is the font group area, which is found on the home tab. To change the font style, we are going to select the first paragraph on our document, and to do that, let's click, hold, then we select as we are moving the mouse towards the end of this line. We have to take note that the changes will only take place to the selected text. If the text is not selected, for instance the downer one, there are no changes that will take place. Now after selecting, we go to the home tab, then we shall majorly go to this area where we see Calibri body. On your screen you may have another thing. Then we click on this more arrow. So after clicking, we shall see the number of options down on our screen or on the menu displayed. As we hover or move our mouse on these characters, on these options, we shall see a live preview on our document. That means that you just move without clicking as you see what is taking place on your screen. Now if you move down, you will see still changes taking place. However, there are very many other options. When you try to click, you see on the screen they are moving or more styles are being displayed. Now if you would like to try to select one of them, please you can pause the video, then you try. Like for my case, I'm going to select this font style. That means I will click. When I click, you see the font that I had selected, the paragraph that was selected is now different from the downward. Now we would like to change the size of this selected text, but make sure that the text is selected because changes will only go to the selected text. To do that, we shall go still on the home tab. Under font group, we look for the font size button. Mine currently is saying we have the font size of 11, but we can now change to any other size of our choice. When you click on the more option arrow, you will see the many font sizes. As you hover your mouse on these font sizes, you can see a live preview also on your screen. So for instance, if we say we want 18 and we shall click 18. When you click 18, we see the difference between this selected paragraph and the paragraph down here, which is not selected. So that's how we can change the font size. You can either make it small or big. However, we shall also continue and see another way how we can change the font size of this paragraph. Since it is already selected, we can also do it still by going to the home tab, then font group area, but this time round you can increase the font size by clicking on this capital A, the big one. So when you click, you see the font size increasing, and in the font tool or button it is telling you the size is 28. To reduce on this font size, we can use the small capital A. As we click, you see on your document the size is reducing. Now it is telling us the size is 16. So these are the two ways how we can deal with the font size on our documents. So now we can deselect this paragraph by clicking aside. After clicking, we would like to make some words bold. For instance, you may have a text and you want one of the words to be clearly readable to the users or to the readers. So for this example, let's make this word load to be bold. How do we do that? We double click on this word load to select it. After double clicking, we shall go to the bold option. We click once. After clicking, you see some changes on the word load. So let's click aside. Now when you click aside, you realize that there is the lines on this word load is now thicker when compared to other text on the paragraph. That is how we can make the text bold. Also, we can decide to italicize our text. That can be done by selecting the text that you would like to italicize. For instance, let us select green pasture. Click and then move and make the selection. After, we go and click on the italicize or italics button. When you click on the italics button, you see a change on the words green pastures. Let's click aside to deactivate our selection. Now you see the words are slanty and they are different from the rest. We can use this option if you want to do some citation. We can also decide to underline some text on our document. For instance, let's select this statement, click, hold, then move the mouse up to the word waters. Then you release the mouse button. Then we shall move our mouse piece up to the button for underline. It is represented by U. So we shall either click on this option directly. So when you click, you can see a line drawn just beneath the selected text. If you want to use maybe 2 or more options of underlining the text, we shall go back to the underline button without clicking. If we click, that means we shall deactivate our selection. So let's go back. This time we shall use this arrow. It is known as the more option arrow. We click. Now when you click, you see there are other options for underlining. As you move your mouse on these options, you see a live preview on your document. Changes are taking place on the selected text. So if you want, for instance, double, then you'll come and click double underline. When you click and go back into your document, let's click aside, you'll see the text is now having a double underline. That is how we can underline our selected text in the document. Now the next option is the strike through. option. We are now going to select this statement from I up to want. So we click, hold, then move. After selecting, we go to the option for the strike through. Then after, you click once. When you click, you see there is a line drawn in between. After you've clicked, you see a line drawn in between the selected words. That means, for instance, this statement is crossed out. That is the use of the strike through option. Our next features are the superscript and the subscript. They are here. So we would like to see what they do. Let's select. We are not going to select the whole of this word, but a few. So we click, move, and select stores, for example, which is under the word restore. Then if we subscript, we see what it does. We move and click on that option for subscript. So when you click on subscript, you see the text is slightly below the rest of the line. Then when you say subscript, it goes slightly above. So these two features are not commonly used when you are dealing with text, but with mathematical equations. So if you want to deactivate, then you go back and click on the same feature. This is subscript. So when you click, the text will go back to its original position. So we can click aside to deactivate that selection. There is another helpful feature that is called a change case feature. Let's select this last line by clicking once from the margin. Then we go and select the change case option. With this option, you can change the case, like in form of the sentence. Then you can also change the selected text to lower, that is small letters. You can also change to upper case, that is the capital letters. Then you can decide to capitalize each word. And then with the toggle case, you can click on it if you want the first word letter in every word to be in small letter, as you can see here. So you can try out these options at your own time. For example, if I click on the uppercase, you can see what takes place. Previously it was in small letters, but now it is in capital letters. So that is the use of the change case option. Now we would like to bring the color into our document, and we do that by going to this button called the text highlight color. So we click on the more option arrow. Then there are very many colors. As you hover your mouse pointer on those colors, you see a live preview on the document. For example, if you want this color, then you just click on the bright green color. So when you click on it, you'll see that the selected text will have a different background. So that is the use of this feature or this button for text highlight color. And to change the color of the text itself, let's highlight the last paragraph. We go on the margin to select. After selecting, we shall go on this option for the font color. We use this more arrow option, click. When you click, you can see as you hover your mouse pointer on these different colors, you see a live preview on the screen. Let's assume we want the color of that paragraph to be red. Then we go to red and we click. So when you click, we can now click aside to deactivate the selection. You see this whole selected paragraph is now having the text which is red, and that is the use of the font color button, which is on this font group. Now that we have seen very many options, I would like us to know that we are not limited to a single option to the selected area or the text. We can have very many options performed on the selected text. Now let's select this one line by clicking. So after clicking, we have selected. We can make it bold. We click on the bold option. We can now italicize that selected text. We can underline. We shall use the more option arrow. We click. Then we want it as a single or one underline option. We click on it. We can also decide to change the case. Now it is small letters, which is lowercase. We can now take it to uppercase. Then we go to uppercase. You click. After that, we can decide to change the color of this text to another color. We go to the font color option, click on the arrow, and maybe we want it to be blue. Then you select blue. Now you have seen we did bold, we italicized, we underlined. You see all those options are now highlighted. They are different from these others. So that is why we have said we are not limited to one option, but we can do as many options as we may want on the selected piece of text. There is another helpful feature that tends to appear when you make a selection. For example, let's select the word load. This feature tends to appear when you move the mouse piece on the upper right of that selected text, and this is the feature we are talking about. It has got some buttons that perform the same tasks as we have seen under the font group. For instance, now we would like to unbold the text which is load. So we can use this feature and we go to B. We click on B to unbold. When you click, you see the word has now been unbold. You can even go ahead and change the color of this text if you want. For instance, we have that font color button here, and you can increase the font size or reduce, just like we did on the font group option. So that is a feature that you can as well use when you're dealing with your text. All these features that we have seen today, they are very important for formatting of our text. However, you are free to be very creative when you're doing your homework. Try as many options as you can, but for schoolwork, make sure you pay attention to the standards set by your teachers. And that's it for now. See you in our next tutorial.